Welcome, everyone, to the Over Under Movies podcast, the show where we take a prominent figure or franchise in the world of filmmaking and ask the simple question, is it overrated or is it underrated? And we have a very prominent franchise today. We are talking about Fantastic Four. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host. He's the Ben Grimm to my Johnny Storm.
You're Johnny Storm, okay.
Yeah, I get to be Johnny Storm.
That's okay.
I'm younger than you.
That's true.
You're balder than me.
I am bald, yeah.
Is Mr. Dylan DeAngelis.
Yeah, it works. It definitely works. Yeah, we're doing a spoilers review for the new Fantastic Four movie.
Fantastic Four First Steps, the latest MCU film. It just came out today.
We just came out of the theater.
Today.
It's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
We're juiced. We're ready to go.
I'm on cough medicine because I'm sick.
Yeah, stay away from me.
Yeah. Scooch down on that couch. So, Dylan, we just got out of the theaters. What were your initial thoughts taking your first steps out of the theater?
Oh, my God. Yeah, this is a very interesting movie because I feel like I knew the plot of the film before I watched it, which always makes it a little tricky to really grasp like your thoughts on a movie because nothing really surprised me in the film. Again, this is full spoilers. You've been warned. If you want spoilers, get the hell out of here. Their planet doesn't get eaten at the end of the movie. That was like the main thing that I thought was going to happen.
That's the big surprise, is that the good guys win.
And that's it. And really, that's like, I almost feel like I'm disappointed that the movie doesn't directly tie into Avengers Doomsday more like...
Yeah.
Obviously, you see that post-credit scene in Thunderbolts,
yeah,
and you see that the Fantastic rocket ship is like coming into their atmosphere. So the Fantastic Four come over to the main, was it the 616 universe? Is that the
Well, that's what
MCU?
Kevin Feige calls it. Other people disagree.
This is Earth 836, I believe.
It was
this one.
8 something. It shows up at the very beginning.
And yeah, they just stop Galactus at the end, and so
and the movie ends.
We need to figure out a way to get them over to the main MCU reality, and I'm assuming that that's going to be a decent part of the plot of Doomsday then, is getting the Fantastic Four in there with everybody else. I kind of assumed that that's what this whole movie, that's what the goal of this movie is going to be. But what it ended up being was just like a fine Fantastic Four movie. I don't know. It's a good movie. It's not remarkable. It reminds me a lot of the Superman movie that we just watched, where it's like, hey, filmmakers are able to make competent under 2-hour superhero films.
Crucial.
And yeah, it's great. Real streamlined. Doesn't get bogged down in anything, but the movie just kind of like lacks surprises a little bit, and maybe that's just me being like MCU pilled at this point. You kind of anticipate maybe something interesting happens in the movie. This movie is just fine. This is, you add it to the MCU collection.
It's not good when you say a movie has 0 surprises, and this is a very straightforward film. They introduce the bad guy in Act 1, and then they defeat him in Act 3, and that's it.
Yeah, Galactus is cool. This is the second time we're seeing Galactus on screen.
Don't say that.
The first time was in the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, where he's a black cloud. And this one, he is comic accurate to his look. He's just a giant man in a suit.
He was really cool.
Ralph Ineson is like an incredible voice. And they picked a perfect actor to just do the voice of Galactus. I'm assuming he's the
And he did the mocap too, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that some of that stuff was practical effects as well. It looks like CGI in the movie, though, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, I gotta say, like, this movie has a really cool look to it. They're going for that retro, futuristic look.
Yeah, cool aesthetic.
It's like a pseudo-60s type thing, inspired heavily by, like, the Jetsons, like what people used to think the future would look like. Very cool aesthetic. At the same time, just a ton of CGI, as we've come to expect from them.
A lot of rush CGI, too. This movie finished principal photography like less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And you could tell there's some shots in this movie that look like a rush job.
Yeah. I will say that there were some really cool looking CGI moments. I thought that the Silver Surfer looked pretty good throughout.
Yeah, she looks great.
She looked really good.
Especially compared to the first trailers where that CGI was a little
bit rougher, yeah.
She looks really good.
Yeah, and you can see the improvement. Well, I'm going to ask later, how does this compare to the aughts Fantastic Fours? But I would say this is an improvement over that Silver Surfer. Like, this one has a lot more detail. They've learned to do reflections in a reflective surface in CGI. It looks really cool. I think Johnny looked pretty cool. I thought the Thing looked like CGI the whole time. That's fine.
Yeah, the Thing shots they're really, some of them are good. Some of them are not good.
Yeah.
Especially when he's out on the street, it legit looks like he's just like green screened and cropped onto the shot sometimes.
It's so interesting because okay, we'll just end up comparing this to those 2004 or whatever Fantastic Four movies a lot, but like the Michael Chiklis practical suit just easily tops this.
Yeah, there's just benefits of having the practical thing suit there on set.
Yeah, and sometimes that suit, like, you're like, oh, that's not rocks, that's rubber, but it still worked a lot better than a CGI thing, in my humble opinion.
But the big thing about this movie is this is our introduction to the Fantastic Four into the MCU. They bring in 4 new actors to play these roles, and these are characters that we have seen on screen before, albeit not in the greatest movies ever, for sure. That's why this franchise is on its 4th reboot here.
It's Fantastic Fourth, yeah.
It's interesting. I think that Vanessa Kirby is really good as Sue Storm. I like her a lot.
She was good, yeah.
I liked her a lot in the Mission Impossible movies. I think she is doing a really interesting performance here where she's pregnant for half the movie. And funny enough, she's pregnant in real life now during their press tour, which I'm guessing that wasn't planned, but it's kind of ironic. And then I really liked the guy that played the Thing. I thought he brought like a warmth to the character, and he had like the uncle vibes. The other 2 actors I'm not sure of. I'm curious, did you enjoy these portrayals of these characters since you're more of the comic book guy than I am?
I would say I like Joseph Quinn. I think, to me, I'm going to say he was maybe the standout. Now, I do miss Chris Evans' cocky attitude for the Human Torch, but I would say that that's more of a writing decision than an acting decision. This guy, Joseph Quinn, he wasn't given like the jabs to throw at the Thing in this one. He was very much a more mature Human Torch at this point. But I liked what they did with him a lot. I liked his creative decisions from an acting point of view. Pedro Pascal, I would say potentially a miscast here.
I think he's just a miscast. I don't know how else to say it. I thought it was a miscast when it was announced. I understand that it's Pedro Pascal season right now.
Oh, people love him.
And you just got to cast the dude and things. Reed Richards is one of the most important characters in the MCU.
Yep.
In Marvel in general. He's the smartest man in the universe. He is a leading member of the Avengers. He's in the Illuminati. He's in like a bunch of different teams involve Mr. Fantastic because he's like a cool character to have because he's so smart. And I think Pedro Pascal's a good actor. This is like the one case that I think the 2005 film had the better casting of Reed Richards. I forget the actor's name, Ian Grufford or whatever.
He was great, yeah.
I bought that guy as Reed Richards.
It's like his only role too, yeah. I think he's in Horrible Bosses and just the Fantastic Four movies, and then I think that's about it. I'm just praising the original Fantastic Four, not the original, but the 2000s Fantastic Four movie. Yeah, Pedro Pascal, for as good as Vanessa Kirby was as an individual actress on here, I think a lot of this movie hinged on the chemistry between Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby, and I just didn't really buy it. At one point, I just forgot that they were a married couple. Oh, he kisses her at the end, and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, that's right, they're married. Yeah, they've literally had a child.
Again, it's a similar issue as the Superman movie, and I brought this up in our Superman review, was that you have to just assume that the audience knows everything about the backstories of these characters. They go into how they get their powers a little bit at the beginning of the film, but again, referencing the 2000s films, like in that one, Sue and Reed are not married. You see them getting together.
Yeah, there's a romantic arc.
Yeah, throughout those movies. And in this one, it's just, oh, they're married.
There's no arc. Even the having a child arc is so rushed in this movie. And we like that it's a short movie, of course.
That is a tricky thing with these films, is that, when you have the introduction to the character being them already an established superhero, you don't get that arc.
Right.
What did they learn throughout this movie?
Right.
Really nothing. This is just again. This is my main criticism of the Superman film too. This feels like a second movie. It feels like a Fantastic Four sequel film to a movie that already came out. And I guess the movie that already came out is the Jessica Alba film from 2005.
Yeah. That movie's looking better and better the more I sit here and think about this movie.
We're never going to reference the 2015 Josh Trank film in this review.
We are just going to say that this is a better movie than that movie. We will come back to that a little later, I think. This movie, what else should we talk about? I think a lot of stuff was cut from this movie. John Malkovich had a role in this film originally, and it just got cut. There's a sequence where you see the Fantastic Four in a montage defeating a lot of their classic villains. Mole Man, Red Ghost was supposed to be played by John Malkovich. I think that's something that got really trimmed down. I think it was supposed to be a much longer montage with more lines from those villains. At one point, Mole Man comes back as an ally to the Fantastic Four, and it's supposed to be this really big moment in the film, and it just feels really weightless because he showed up for 2 seconds at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, the rest of this world, it feels very glossed over. The aesthetics are so cool and so inspired, and everything else just doesn't really hit home. And that's why when I was watching the movie, it was still in my head of, this planet's getting eaten.
Because it's like
these
nothing.
People are all getting eaten.
You don't care about this world by the end of it. And then when they save the world, you're like, all right.
And you're not going to care about this world. Spoilers. These characters are going to be in Avengers Doomsday next year. That movie, I'm guessing, is mostly going to take place in that 616 universe.
Yes. If it's anything like the Secret Wars comic, which is like an incursion between the Ultimate Universe and the main 616 Marvel Comics universe, the worlds collide. Only one can be saved. That is probably what's happening here, or this plus the X-Men universe plus the main 616. It's all going to end with only one of those worlds still being up, and this is not going to be the one.
So it's interesting that this movie is putting so much effort into building out this world when this isn't a world that is going to be long-lasting in the overall franchise. You would assume that a sequel to this movie would probably take place in that 616 universe. It would probably be the Fantastic Four never make it back to their original world here. That's just me speculating. I guess in theory we could see another film set in the same Earth as this movie. But what are they going to do? Would they just pull Mole Man or some other random Fantastic Four villain into there? That's probably not what's going to happen. That's probably, because the Fantastic Four is so integral to the overarching narrative, they need to be front and center. They need to be in that main universe.
Yeah, it's really weird because Galactus is easily their second most prominent villain after Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom is going to be just in the 616 messing stuff up for our main Marvel heroes. So yeah, I've got a criticism of they're clearly trying to set up Doctor Doom as like the next big bad for the next big Marvel movie, and he's just not in this when Doctor Doom's relationship with Reed Richards is so crucial.
Yeah, I don't know what the decision was exactly to not have Doctor Doom be a prominent role in this, outside of they want it to be the big reveal that it's Robert Downey Jr.
So stupid, dude. So Doctor Doom shows up in the post-credits of this. Let's just jump into that.
Let's get right in the post-credits scene.
And they don't show Robert Downey Jr. They're still saving that for Avengers Doomsday.
It's actually Jonathan Majors. That's why they didn't show his face.
No. Yeah, they show the back of his head and he's holding the Doctor Doom mask. So very stupid. Robert Downey Jr., 99% chance he's not the guy in that scene. And yeah, not a great post-credits in my opinion.
There's a good chance that Robert Downey Jr. also isn't the Doctor Doom that we see throughout the rest of the MCU. It could be that he's just Doom in Doomsday.
I don't know. He got a lot of money.
And then we get another actor that comes in after that. Well, I mean, Feige's talking about this whole reboot plan that they're going to have.
I don't know what's happening.
Casting major roles once this whole saga is over. It's weird. At this point in the MCU, everything's messy because there's just so many heroes. There's so many stories you have to intertwine with each other.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Four's villain, though, is Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that's the main guy.
Almost more so than any other. It's comparable to the Joker and Batman.
Absolutely.
If you're going to tell the story with one, the other one almost has to be there in some capacity.
Yeah, and that guy just wasn't in this. Doctor Doom is the villain in, I think, all four of the other Fantastic Four movies, including the 90s one.
It's a slam dunk because I'm assuming that the origin story that they have in the 2005 one, where he gets his powers in the same way that they do, is not
wrong.
Is not comic accurate, though I kind of liked that. This movie has a lot of scenes where it's like the UN and they're showing all the different countries, and then they showed Latveria. in the dead center of the frame.
And I think no one's there, right?
Yeah, there's no one there. They did not send a representative.
That was a good bit. That was a good bit for sure. Yeah. So what have we talked about? We've talked about the villain, which we like, Galactus. Good performance. We've talked about what we like about this new cast. Oh, another thing you can tell they cut a lot of stuff from. Natasha Lyonne is just in this movie for no reason. She's
she's in 3 scenes.
Yeah, she's in 3 scenes. She's kind of a love interest for Ben Grimm, except not really at all. What was up with that?
I have no idea. The MCU is so weird where they'll just pull relatively big actors
and give them nothing.
Or it'll be like John Malkovich, and they're like, "Oh no, we're actually just going to cut you out of the movie."
Cutting John Malkovich? That's crazy. That's so offensive. He could have been Doctor Doom. What are they doing here?
We could talk about Galactus a little bit. I think people were pretty hyped to finally see Galactus.
Yeah, like a comic accurate Galactus.
What are your thoughts on him and how they portrayed his powers? Did he seem powerful enough?
Galactus is such an interesting character because of the scale of him. Sometimes he's kaiju sized, which he was in this film. He walks around New York City. He's able to knock over buildings, but he's like, the tallest buildings come up to like chest level on him. Other times he can hold Earth in his hands. So he has like size shifting abilities, but that makes him a tricky character because sometimes he can just eat Earth and pop it into his mouth. Other times he has to come down to Earth and fight the Fantastic Four. I would say he had a really cool presence. He was just, to me, he was a cool kaiju in this film. I think he was a little weaker than your typical Galactus. He wasn't like the world-ending threat. Sue Storm is basically able to like 1v1 him at one point.
Yeah, Sue's pretty OP in this movie.
Yeah, she's strong.
I'm sure people on the internet are gonna be totally cool with that. That she just solos Galactus.
A lot of people on the internet maybe won't like that a woman was able to 1v1 this character, but Sue Storm is a really powerful character, like in the comics.
She's almost the only one whose powers are kind of important in this movie. Reed does some stretchy stuff. Obviously, Johnny like being able to fly to the surfer is important for the plot. But other than that, he doesn't really use his fire powers.
Yeah, his fire doesn't matter, and then the thing's super strength, not super important.
Yeah, he knocks down a building that like allows Galactus to trip.
No, Galactus was leaning on the building, and the thing knocked down the building, and Galactus was like, "Whoa!" for a second. That was it.
But you could make the meme of the Fantastic Four at 100% strength, and then the Fantastic Four at 99% strength,
and it's Sue Storm.
It's just Sue. Because she's doing everything.
Yeah, she was cool though. Like, so the thematic thing here was like, oh, the power of motherhood. Like that story of a woman was able to lift a car up to save her baby. Like it's that type of story where she's a new mother, so she's able to tap into this strength and adrenaline that she's never had before. And I think that worked thematically. But, you know, it does make Galactus look a little bit less of a threat because of it. But he was still a cool villain. Great design. Good designs all around. What do you think of the costumes for the main four?
I like the retro look. I'm more curious to see what their costumes are going to look like in the MCU version of them.
I do think it'll be funny if they really MCUify the costumes and then people start complaining because there's too many lines on them. I kind of hope that happens.
That it looks like the John Krasinski suit from Multiverse of Madness.
I forgot about that guy. There was one part, that was really cool, where Galactus grabs Reed and he's just stretching him like Laffy Taffy until he's about to pull him apart.
That's what that's when I was thinking, like, does Reed have limitations on his stretchy powers? Can he be like stretched to death?
It's like a power scaling thing where as he gains more power over his abilities, he'll be able to stretch further and further. But this is within 4 years of him getting his powers. So right now he has those weaknesses. I think going forward, he's going to be really OP.
Yeah, this movie does some weird time jump stuff where the end of the movie is just 4 years later. They do a jump cut.
Yeah, so
and the actors look exactly the same. I'm not entirely. I guess it's just to age up Franklin. I guess we can talk about Franklin now because he's kind of the central character of the entire movie.
Yeah, very important character.
He's a very important character. I know he's a big character in the comics as well. However, as somebody who doesn't read comics, I don't know shit about Franklin Richards.
Oh, he's the son of Reed Richards and Susan Storm.
And what is his powers exactly? Does he just have like undetermined cosmic powers? He has plot powers?
Yeah, he's a reality warper, the strongest power in all of comic books. So he can warp reality.
So on like a tier list, you're making the strongest beings in the Marvel universe. Franklin Richards is like, he's high on that tier list.
He's close to Dr. Manhattan. You're familiar with Watchmen.
I'm familiar with Watchmen.
He's close to Dr. Manhattan, but he is basically always a child in the Marvel comics. So it's always like, oh, he's going to grow up to be so strong, even though he's older than we are, I think, in terms of when he debuted. But yeah, he's a really cool character. He is considered to be a mutant in the Marvel comics rather than, you know, a non-mutant super powered being, because he was born with his powers, which makes him a mutant. So there's a really cool storyline where, you know, the Krakoa arc of X-Men, where the X-Men are like, hey, Franklin, come live with us. You're a mutant like us. And the Fantastic Four are like, get away from my son. So, what's wrong with you? Who are you?
I got to imagine from a plot standpoint, it's going to be a little tedious of them just always having a toddler with them that they're stuck having to protect.
Yeah, they're going to have to age him up, I think.
That's what I was curious about at the end of this movie. Are they going to try to age Franklin up to get him on the same level as those teenage, young adult Avengers characters that they're clearly building up in the Disney Plus series?
I don't know.
And the issue is, like you just talked about it, Franklin's just too strong.
Yeah, he's too powerful.
He is a can of worms to even like introduce into this universe, because you see at the end of the movie, he just brings Sue back to life. And so yeah. he's a walking Deus Ex Machina of he can just fix things at the end of the movie if needed.
Well, that's the thing. Like, after Secret Wars, the comic, he's very integral in terms of rebooting the universes. So that could be how they do their soft reboot here, is they have Franklin and he just resets the universe after Secret Wars. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. All right. That's not great. Yeah. Dylan, how's this compare to the 2015 Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara?
It's definitely better. It's more cohesive.
It is better.
Better lighting.
Better colors. Better action.
Less Doctor Doom in this one, however. I will say that.
Yeah.
I actually think it compares to the 2000s movies a little bit more closely. I don't know. We're in our 30s. Those movies came out when we were kids.
We've got some nostalgia for them.
We're inherently biased a little bit towards those. First time we saw them on screen like that. I think those movies are fine. Honestly, there's a reason that it got a sequel, because the first one actually did.
It's a nice, tight comic book movie, yeah.
And then the second one, outside of Galactus being a cloud, which is obviously dumb.
Yeah.
The Silver Surfer interpretation of that in that one is pretty good.
He's cool. Yeah, I would say the Silver Surfer in this one was really cool, but she kind of disappears after like halfway through and then comes back for 2 seconds in the third act. Again, I think they just cut a lot from this movie.
And is it just a trope in these stories that the Silver Surfer turns on Galactus at some point?
Well, the Silver Surfer hates Galactus.
Yeah, why does this guy have a herald that always hates him? Because it seems like a bad strategy.
The herald is his slave. The herald always says, Galactus, don't eat my planet. I'll become your herald and I'll help you find other planets to eat. And that's Galactus' slave. They get the power cosmic or whatever, but it's not a great deal because they can't use it for anything except helping Galactus eat planets, which they hate.
The post-credit scene of this one should have been Galactus eating the Silver Surfer's planet.
Yeah, because he's mad.
Yo, bitch, you messed up.
Nah, but Galactus got... Okay, so Galactus gets defeated and he gets sent to the edge of the universe or something. But I could see it being like, now he's in the 616 or something, or now he's in the X-Men universe.
Well, Galactus he's one of those celestial beings, right, where there's only one of him in the multiverse.
That's one of the lines that people say now. That's not necessarily true. There was an ultimate Galactus in the Ultimate Universe. So I would say that's probably not right, but that is currently, I think, the corporate line from Marvel.
But this is an interesting movie to delve into the lens of what would a Marvel universe look like with just one group of heroes.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, this feels a lot like an Incredibles movie.
Yeah.
Because obviously Incredibles is riffing off of this, but the idea of there's no other heroes. Incredibles had other heroes.
But they all died.
They do all die. Spoilers for The Incredibles.
That was crazy to put in a kid's movie.
But the fact that the Fantastic Four are here and there's no other heroes is such... it's very interesting.
Yeah.
These MCU films are so big, and not just MCU, superhero films in general, are so big on adding additional, like, secondary heroes to kind of, like, play off of.
Yeah.
we just saw a Superman movie where they couldn't let Superman sit by himself.
He has a ton of heroes around him.
There are other heroes that show up in the movie and at certain points help him because he's not strong enough to do it on his own.
Yeah.
And in this one, they're kind of just letting the Fantastic Four cook, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of, faith to put into 4 actors that we've never seen in these roles before, and you're just hoping that the audience buys them. And I think for the most part, I think it's okay. I just think these are 4 roles that are really hard to cast, and we're so used to seeing Marvel like really nail it with roles. I just don't know if these are home runs, all of these picks.
Yeah, and I'm not sure they were given enough to do to really highlight what they needed to do. I do think Pedro Pascal probably was the miscast of the 4. And I had read somewhere that he was supposed to be doing more of a transatlantic accent, and he had a completely different like intonation about him. And then they were like, dude, stop.
Actually, don't do that.
Yeah. And they hired a voice coach for him to learn it, and he did it too good. That's what I heard.
Yeah, Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn's British accents come through a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. But I liked both of them. I liked The Thing. But I did think like just the chemistry among the 4 all around. Like when we saw Thunderbolts and we saw those characters getting together for their dialogue and their banter, I really thought it was like a lot of fun. I was like, and these were like Disney Plus heroes too. Like just, the scraps of the MCU getting together, just thrown together. And they did such a good job being a fun team. This team, I didn't really buy it.
Yeah, this movie also, it feels a little desensitized. It almost feels more kiddie than a typical MCU film.
Yeah.
I think Marvel's very aware that their audience is, a wide range of age groups. Even though the intended audience is skewed younger, they'll have scenes and sequences or dialogue that, at least like adults are going to laugh at. I didn't really find myself like laughing much in this movie.
Dude, no jokes in this movie. Very quiet audience. Not a great sign for an MCU film. MCU films have like trained us to clap like seals every 10 minutes, which is what I was doing during like the Thunderbolts, the last really good MCU movie I saw. This one, nobody was like clapping or laughing at anything. It was weird. But yeah, how does this stack up to Thunderbolts or Captain America 4 for you?
I think of the 3 MCU films that came out this year, I liked Thunderbolts the most, and then this is probably second place, and then I think Brave New World is a distant third between those 2 movies.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with your ranking there. Do you think this moved the needle enough for Marvel? I think we said in our like anticipating the year 2025 episode, we were like, Fantastic Four has to be really good, and it has to get butts in seats. Do you think this did that for Marvel?
I don't think so. I don't think that this is a movie that a lot of people are going to be clamoring to rewatch in theaters. And I could see a lot of people being disappointed that there isn't more of a crossover with the main MCU timeline.
We're definitely trained to like want to see more of that stuff.
And you come away from this movie almost like you could skip this movie. You could watch Doomsday next summer and be perfectly fine. Thunderbolts is going to be the more important movie to watch somehow.
That's crazy, actually. How does this compare to Superman?
I think it's on a similar level as Superman. I think both of them are very comparable movies because they are skipping the origin story part of the hero and getting right into the action.
Yeah.
Trying to tell more personable stories and getting the hero through kind of an arcless story where you can center them into the heart of your overall cinematic universe. It's like it's cinematic box checking.
Yeah. Well, I like Superman more than this. I thought Superman transcended that a little bit.
Superman's definitely trying to do more. Like James Gunn's going for more in that movie.
This is a very simple movie. They meet Galactus, and Galactus wants their child, which I did think was a cool plot. There's this moral quandary where Galactus is like, give me your baby. And they're like, no. And he's like, I'm going to eat your entire world. Do you want to sacrifice 7 billion lives?
Yeah, we can just say straight up here, you give away the baby. Straight up.
That is probably the right thing to do. But it's not my baby.
Literally the entire world should have just broken into their fucking building and taken that baby from them.
It's not my baby. I can't make that decision for them. But
the movie would have been even shorter.
There's a trolley problem element to this movie, which is interesting. Did they delve into it with enough nuance and intrigue?
Really.
No.
Sue makes a speech to the people outside the building.
And then all the people are like, all right, bet.
And then everybody claps.
And then the whole world agrees. So the initial plan to get away from Galactus is that they're going to teleport the Earth to another solar system.
No, it's the most unrealistic portion of this whole movie that has superheroes and giant cosmic gods, is that they're able to get the entire world to work together on something in a short time span.
Now, there's something neat and sci-fi about that plot line that almost works.
It's abandoned in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's just they abandon it in less than 10 minutes. And so you're like, oh, that interesting thing that you brought up? Not important, I guess. Yeah, Dylan, what would you rate this out of 5 stars?
Out of 5, I think I'm going to give it the same rating I gave Superman, which is 3 out of 10.
Cool. I'm going to give it a 2.5.
3 out of 5. Yeah.
I did not care for this movie. 2.5 is on the lower end for me. It's still a fine score. That's like a 50%. It means I think this is slightly below average.
I think it's tricky. Yeah, we're at the point here in the MCU where I think there's a base level of expectations of quality. And when a movie hits that and then has nothing else on top of that, you feel disappointed.
Yeah, I would say they did some new things, which was cool, but also the things you come to expect, they don't really do. I'm not really in a rush to rewatch this movie. Like, I would see Superman again before this one. So, yeah, I was feeling a little disappointed coming out of there, but I think seeing them in Doomsday, maybe my opinion will
how are
change.
you feeling about Doomsday at this point now? It's coming out next summer.
Not great. I mean, I don't think like the setup is not there for the next big Marvel movie.
I'm curious what that first trailer is going to look like. What do they show? How much do they show?
I don't know.
Because that was a big criticism of this movie, is that the marketing gave away basically the entire plot of the movie.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what it was going to be.
That was crazy. Well, I know that Nightcrawler is fighting Mr. Fantastic in Doomsday, so that'll be cool. That'll be cool power sets going up against each other.
Yeah, I forgot that, those original Fox X-Men actors are going to be reprising the roles.
I kind of thought maybe we'd see one in this movie, but we didn't.
Yeah, then they didn't bring back any of the 2005 actors either.
Well, I think it's implied that they all died in Deadpool versus Wolverine or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's true, because they got the Chris Evans in there.
And I think Chris Evans did record something for this film, and then they cut it. Again, I think they left a lot on the cutting room floor here. But this time, I'm like, I don't know if it would have made the movie better. I did not care for this one. Yeah,
usually it's best to keep the film shorter. I don't think a 2-hour, 15-minute version of this movie was going to improve things in any.
You don't think 30 extra minutes of John Malkovich would have done this movie better?
There's a version of this movie where it's just them fighting Mole Man.
That might be a better movie.
That might be interesting.
Yeah, because Mole Man's played by that guy that I really like.
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. And he was good for like the 5 seconds he actually had dialogue in this film. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's it. No more superhero films this year. We're done.
I want to see the deleted scenes from this film. I think they could turn my opinions, actually. All right, Dylan, any final thoughts on the Fantastic Four?
No. I'm curious what the box office is going to look like for this.
Yeah, our theater was packed. I'll say that.
Yeah, but we're seeing an opening weekend, so it's difficult to really gauge. You were talking about, when coming out of our Superman screening, how like everybody was really hyped. And now we're looking at the box office, and that film's doing pretty good in America, and it's doing horrible overseas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough for Superman. I think this will do better in its first and second weekend, but I think Superman will have better legs, although Fantastic Four is cutting Superman's legs right now, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's got the benefit of being the film that comes out second.
Yeah.
And now it can kind of ride the wave a little bit.
Definitely.
Going into August.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's no other final thoughts, that'll be it for our Fantastic Four podcast.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below.
As always, check us out on social media. We're on, X, Instagram, Facebook, all the old stuff. But you can also find us on TikTok. You can find us on Patreon. You can become a patron. Subscribe to us there. You can do the free tier. You can give us money if you so choose. You don't have to. You can join our Discord. All of our stuff is over under or underscore over under.
Yeah, you check that in the show notes down below. All of our links.
It's all going to be there.
Link it up.
But yeah, I guess go see the movie. It's fine.
It's definitely worth seeing in theaters for sure. Yeah. The first scene where Galactus's eyes light up, I was like,
I mean, that was cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was cool stuff in this movie. Yeah, so do that, and then we'll see you at the movies.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.